Good evening, folks. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Yes, this is Spirit Journey, and I hope you all are having a wonderful, wonderful day. Today is March 5th, 2020. What's that time? I know I think it's after 9 o'clock. And I want to talk about several topics. And yes, the screen that you see is very dark. I am actually in the tub. I'm a little tired right now. And I want to talk about this vision that I had this morning. Yeah, I think it was this morning. And an update on my gym experience. Yes, I mentioned in my last video that I'll be attending a gym to do bodybuilding. And you never know, I'm thinking about to be able to go in a contest for it. Yeah. And what else? I want to talk about the coronavirus that hit New York now. Yes, good evening out there, viewer. Yes, this is Spirit Journey. Yes, hello, guys. Hello, yes. The screen is dark. The screen is very dark right now, but I'm in a darkened room. I'm actually I'm taking a bath right now. I'm soaking. My body is aching. But yes, just as long that you can hear the audio, that's the main thing. And I would love you to be able to hear me. Just type in the chat room if you can hear the audio well, or is it too muffled? If you can't hear it clearly, then I'll talk closer to the mic. So it's important that that you can hear me. So just type in the chat room if you can hear me well or not. So let me continue. Yes, so I'll be talking about various topics. And there are various, about 5 different things I want to talk about. I want to talk about this vision that I had, and it's very similar to some of the other visions that I've been having. And so those of you who are new to my channel, you can go to my playlist. I have a Dreams and Vision playlist, and you can just peruse amongst it and get insight on what my experiences are, and you could share your comments to it. Let's see what else I'm going to talk about. I want to talk about the coronavirus. It hit New York, and there were, I think, total in the United States, something with the number 22. Either 22 people got infected, and or that was the number that died. I'm not sure. I forget actually. So I'm going to talk about that. What my insight about that is. What else? I want to talk about this British films. Those British films that depict the era of like the 1800s, 1900s, what my insight about this is, and these new movies that are popping up regarding this. Yeah, I think I realize certain things are for a reason, and I think it's very telling, and so I hope you'll listen to that. And what else? What was the other thing? um, let's see, about the vision, gym, coronavirus. Oh, yeah. So those things, four. So the coronavirus, British films, visions, and my gym experience. So let me begin at least with um, the vision that I had. Again, let me know. I haven't seen anyone writing anything in the chat room. Um, yeah, let me know if you could hear me, and just type in hello in the chat room, um, so I know for sure that everything is okay. So let me begin. I think it was this morning. Um, and as usual with the visions that I see, I'm in bed usually, and I'm awakening from sleep, and I discovered that when I keep my eyes closed and not opening them after I wake up. Yes, hello viewer, good evening. So either way, um, when I wake up in the morning, I keep my eyes closed and I just relax my body, my mind, my eyes, everything. And usually soon after I see something. Sometimes it could be clear and sometimes um, very blur. um, but recently I've been seeing things that are it started to get clearer and clearer. I am taking these three herbal supplements. I learned of these three supplements. It's hope I can remember. Blue lotus. I think it's blue lotus flower. Mungwort and what was that? Ciela, and the next letter begins with a Z, and that Ciela, I think is called. That particular herbal, it comes from Mexico, and it enables clarity of your spiritual visions. I've been taking these three herbals for the past, I think I had 4 uses of it. And I think one of the visions I saw since I've been taking it, different textures of color that I've seen. But anyway, what I saw today, let's see, it, as usual with the vision, usually what occurs first are those, I call them electric clouds. And then they may intensify in color, and then it's like might get bigger and bigger. Also, it starts off small, and it might be a weird shape, an oblong shape, or sometimes it's circular, and then within that, I think it looks almost like a sky blue, and the edges are dark, and it reminds me of like it could be buildings, skyscrapers, something big. It reminds me of it because how the jagged, right angles and long and narrow. It reminds me of like you're using a special fish eye lens. So if you're pointing at the sky, you're surrounded by tall buildings. That's somewhat of the effect that you would see. So I noticed with today, the color got so intensified, and then it got like like it reminded me of like a sky, almost a sky blue, and then all of a sudden I start to see something. And I've mentioned in many of my videos in my playlist for the visions, those little spiky things. Imagine like thin stems that branch out, and then they have spikes on the end. It's a pale color, and it seems to like have movement to it, but like, okay, now in the center of these little spiky things, it's like a little circle, and this circular is about maybe 3 inches in diameter. And I saw like an image inside this circle, and I think there were people moving, two individuals moving. And what more? What's that now? I would tell myself, like, it only lasts like a few seconds when I see it, and I mentally tell myself, please, please don't disappear. Let me, show me more. Show me more. I want to see more details. And it seems like, okay, those little spiky things, as I call it, it's like I get the impression that they don't want me to see inside. It doesn't want me to see the visions. And I've speculated in past videos what could actually be going on. Okay, now this phenomenon only seems to happen upon awakening. Now, I'm starting to believe, I should say, that the different existences, there's a life in the dream world, and then there's a life in this physical, the dream world versus the physical world. But I think what we're experiencing, both categories, the dream world and this so-called real world, 3D world, I think that you are amazing. Oh, thank you. Hello, Pyramid. Yes, it's good to hear from you. And I made sure I put my glasses on. Yes, I put my glasses on so I can read your comments. Yes, all your comments are welcome because, see, you make this show exciting. Yeah, it's open. I don't want to criticize anybody. This is an open forum for people to share their experiences as it pertains to the topic so we can all learn. And I feel really pressured to share these experiences with you because I want to find out who else is experiencing this and to compare notes, and maybe we can put our heads together and find out what's really going on. I really think something is happening. I think we're being duped. So you have two worlds, the physical world, the 3D world that we know it as, and the dream world. And when we start to awaken, imagine like a crack in the wall, the left side versus the right side. Well, remember with the movie The Wizard of Oz? You have always made me smile and have always brought hope back for me. Oh, thank you so much again, Pyramid. Thank you. I appreciate hearing that. So, it's that in between, like the Wizard of Oz. Remember, you guys, if you've seen the movie Wizard of Oz, and Dorothy was in a storm or tornado, and she gets hit on the head, and she has a dream, and the dream was depicting her meeting different characters, and then they also meet. Oh, okay, good, Pyramid, very good. So they meet a wizard, and it has an ominous voice, remember, and had a smoke that came out of this area, and he wasn't kind at all. So he was putting up a persona of being God or godlike. And he told them to do something that really wasted their time. It was the Wizard of Oz that was insecure, it turned out. And when uh, Dorothy, the protagonist in the movie, was brave enough, and as this ominous voice came out, the little dog ran behind that structure and discovered a curtain and pulled it open. There's a culture that believes that our dreams lives are as real as ours awake. Yes, very much so. Okay. So it's discovered that it was a short little guy and not the God. And that Dorothy was able to get home at any time, actually, and didn't even need the mumbo jumbo crap that was being told to her. And I see that it was all about gathering their energy. And you might say, well, how is that? Well, fear is an energy, and negative people like to feed off of this negative energy, and fearing a little girl that if you don't do this, I'm going to hurt you. She's going to emit a lot of fear hormones, right? All of them were afraid. Remember one of the characters, what his wish was, he wanted to have a heart, and another wanted courage. They already had it. They just had to tap into it. And like people, we need to tap into our abilities. And I'm learning at this age of my life that I have certain abilities that were dormant. Yes, exactly, Pyramid. Exactly. We've been afraid for so long. And the system wants to continue us being afraid. Yes, hello, viewer. You could say hello in the chat room. You're all welcome to say hello to everyone. So you have fear, and fear controls people. And a lot of fear, as within the Wizard of Oz, upon Dorothy, the protagonist in the movie, was about control and controlling how you doing, King Ra? Yes, we're going to talk about various topics today. Thank you for signing in. And thank you for a thumbs up, guys. Thank you. So you have this fear that's being promoted in the world. Yes, Ola. Ola to you. So you have all this fear mongering. And fear is for a reason. It controls. You have a controlling system. So now, tying that movie, The Wizard of Oz, yes, peace, king, peace. So as with the dream, the vision that I had, and tying that in with this movie, Wizard of Oz, that something doesn't want me to see. I realize, I speculate, that's better. I speculate that there is a system out there that doesn't want me to see in between the cracks. In between the cracks meaning there's a buffer zone between dream world and 3D world. And when you do the yeah when I where's that when I see that every time I try to, I shouldn't say every time, but oftentimes there is a something that interrupts. It doesn't want me to see. So initially I might start to see something and then it disappear. And I noticed those, what I call those prickly thing. It has like expenditures. It's like a thin twig or a series of thin twigs that interconnect each other, and it formed like a ring. And each of the twigs, little skinny twigs, have these long needles about. But and in the center there is like a smaller circle about 3 inches in diameter, and that's where you see the vision. At least the vision that I saw today. And I saw movement. It was like people, two tall, two slim people in it. It was very. It was like far away, you know. The image of the people within this circle. I'm wondering, I mean, what are these prickly things? Could you think of those prickly things as an antenna, guys? You all know what an antenna is. It picks up radio waves and who knows what other type of waves out there. Remember some like you have David Icke, he's involved in conspiracies. He's a conspiracy researcher. And remember, he mentioned about the moon, that it is a fake, I should say, an artificial moon. It's not a natural moon. And that Mars, oh, okay, Pyramid. You have a wonderful evening, and thank you for signing out. Bye-bye. Yeah, I like you guys who write in your comments during live views. You enter in and say hello, and when you want to leave, you say that you're leaving. That's really polite. I love that. Thank you guys. So remember, like, yeah, thank you. Yeah, thumbs up to you too. So sometimes, I'm sorry, I get distracted sometimes. It's like it doesn't want you to know. It doesn't want you to be informed. Why? Okay, the spikes. I'm wondering whether this is a device that is like an antenna. And oh yeah, I remember with David Icke. David Icke had mentioned in his lectures that the planet Mars, not Mars, Saturn, the ring of Saturn, that is like a broadcasting ring. It broadcasts something, and that broadcast message is sent to the moon, and then from the moon it's transferred to planet Earth. And I'm wondering whether I'm tapping into this possible dream machine, reality machine, or the Matrix. I kid you not. Because like that, because these needles that was kind of circular, think of it like a reef. Those holiday wreaths that you hang on the wall. So imagine something like that, but it's a giant one. And those long needles, the needles look like 4 or 5 inches long. And you can see in between the needles. And sometimes in between the needles, you can see an image. So the whole thing, but it's partly just covered because of the needles. But again, inside the circle, it has like a membrane. Think of like as thin as a balloon. And imagine this circle is a flat membrane that's in a circle shape. It looks flexible, and it's about maybe an inch and a half wide. And it's connected to this membrane, but in within its center part. And this portion of it is what tracks. I mean, it sounds really bizarre, but I really think I'm hitting on something. I really do. Because I keep seeing it. I've never seen anything like this. And it could track you, like in one of my visions, those prickly things with the center of the membrane that's in a circular shape, that's about 3 inches in diameter. It was tracking these two people. It looked like a mother and a child at some type of erected monument, and they were outdoors at like a park. And then they started walking towards my direction, and my vision of this, I was like at an elevated view, like maybe 60 feet above them, watching them walk downward, and then they're greeted by this fat guy, and then they walk together away, and then I didn't see it anymore. It was as if this view was like I'm viewing this from a camera. I kid you not. And I'm wondering whether is this a memory of something? Because how it was viewed as if from someone looking through a device, like a spy device, a telescope, and then those prickly things is to camouflage, to hide me looking, or whoever who took the video. Like maybe I'm tapping into videos of things over me. And again, with Saturn sending out these, allegedly Saturn has sending out signals to the moon, and then from the moon it magnifies the signals and sends them to Earth. Maybe I'm tapping into the signal, and maybe it's like the Matrix, and they want to keep you in a stupor. And maybe like also David Icke talks about, I mean, he talked about the Matrix also. But what if, he called it, what do you call it? A hologram. What if this thing that I'm seeing, this device, this prickly device, is actually the machinery that projects a holographic figure? So you might say, well, what hologram? Well, this world. Everything we look at. A hologram. Yeah, check out David Icke's work. And, type his name in the word hologram or holographic images. See, the brain is only a receptor of signals. Just like you guys, many of you have what they call a Bluetooth, right? You have those things in your ear. It's wireless. But what is it picking up? It is picking up signals. And it is translating, so to speak, or I should say, decoding the the signals as audio. But isn't television the same type of thing? It is interpreting the signals and interpreting it as visuals. Okay? So, where are the signals that we're getting to see what we see? How is that we're able to see in our dreams if our eyes are closed? Or again, when you're meditating, how is it that you are able to dream these things? Okay? So, is what is being seen by me, is this like a machine that has a whole slew of different scenarios? They could be happy events, sad events, and anybody could receive it. A man, a woman, and anybody. And I'm wondering whether or not different people may be really having the same life. They're watching the same movie and they think it's their own personal life. See, that's also why I share this, because some of you may be experiencing and seeing what I'm seeing. So, like multiple lives of the same event, but experienced by different people. Okay? It's just really telling. I truly believe, like, because these things that I'm seeing, I I believe very strongly these are actual places that exist. How could I just make up something visually of such detail, like a video, like a movie? Sometimes it looks like you're just looking at a screen, and sometimes it's like I'm the character in it, but I never hear anything. I'm just the observer. So I can't feel, hear, smell, touch. I can only see what it's showing me. So even further, that I'm not able to, um, I'm not able to, like, let's say, move my head or move my eyes and be able to change what I see. It's as is. It's as if something else took the shot, but allowing me to see it. But it feels like I'm the one that is in the scene looking at it. So let me know, you guys who are listening to this live stream, have any of you ever experienced something like this in your visions? Like you're doing a meditation session. You're meditating, your eyes are closed, and then you may see something. It could be 3D looking or looking like you're seeing from a screen. Let me know. Let's see, what else? So the next thing I want to talk about, let me talk about the coronavirus. Now, the coronavirus, I heard news today that there was a death that occurred. And again, even one death is too many, and condolence to the family and friends of that individual who passed. I think they said now 22 people have it now. But the current administration made a point about something the other day. The administration mentioned that in the United States alone, that the maximum of 100,000 people die every year from the flu. And the flu is a virus causing um, disease. So, question, don't you think 100,000 is a lot? The United States has about 300 million, a little over, over 300 million people. And you have up to 100,000 people who died from a flu. And then there's nothing new. So if you're old or very, very young, or you already have yeah. Yes, my ex-husband mentioned that to me the other. Okay, thank you for mentioning that. Yeah, so you have all these deaths that occurred, but this coronavirus, you only have a handful, maximum 22 people who have it. That doesn't sound like a real, I mean, one is too many, but that doesn't sound like something to be scared about. I mean, if United States history, every year people get a cold or flu, right? You get runny nose, stuffy head, a headache, right? You might get chills. And again, it's airborne. You sneeze on someone, you're going to get it, right? Anybody could die from it. So I ask myself, why is this coronavirus getting so much play, so much attention? Now, I've seen videos on YouTube about China, and that some of the housing units there, that they are literally, the authorities are um, not cementing them in, but they welding them in their own houses. Or they grab them from their house and then they put them in this truck. Why go through all that trauma? Just have them stay at home. And if they're feeling that bad, I don't know why they want to go outside and party. That's not what's happening. So why are they doing this? Well, this is part of my insight. They want to scare you. And you know where China got the virus from? From the United States. Bingo! Wouldn't it be something if this virus was asked to be created, whether China asked the US to invent such a virus? And this virus also surprisingly has components of the HIV element in it. So it's like they take fragments of the HIV virus and put it in this flu-like virus. So it's very strong. Why would you do that? Because remember, they mentioned that they were using AIDS medicine to treat patients who have the coronavirus. Okay? So I think it's a bioweapon, and that this bioweapon is to initiate world scare. They know places like China has a very big commerce, and neighboring countries also. They have the international market because the labor is very cheap, right? So it goes all over the place, and the potential to wipe out many people on this planet. And I'm wondering whether that is the goal, to scare us and then to control. I believe that they want to initiate what they call a police state. They're doing like mock drills or I should say mock drill. These are real drill that you know what they're doing upon the citizens of China, men and women. And it's horrible. The some of the videos I saw, it was very intense. So the world is watching, and then you hear about the other countries. But this is flu season. And it's really nothing different. But they're making this one seem different. But they haven't told you why this is being treated like this. People in China, I'm sure they get flu. They have cold season there in China. So what's up? So I think, they might have selected China because they have so many people and it is communist. And so they might be using this like an experiment. And they learn what works, what doesn't work in how to handle outbreak. And I think it's to scare you. They want you to stop buying those products. They're even not saying, oh, buy hand gel. Now, I was told hand gel kills off all the good bacteria. So they want you to take something that's going to cut off your own immunity to disease. Why keep washing your hands when this is something that's airborne? Yes, you touch surfaces of things, yes, with your hands. But that thing is going to go on your face. Why aren't they saying, why don't you wash your face frequently? But they're not saying that. Anything that's exposed to the air is susceptible to viruses. Someone's coughing on you, or the spittle gets in your face, or your lips, etc. You can get it. But that's not being said. And I listened to, I think it's the governor. No, my mistake. No, wait a minute. Yeah, he's the governor, Governor Cuomo. And he was saying that he got a phone call from his own daughter. He has a very young daughter. And he says, I'm scared, and, don't tell us, don't be afraid. Why shouldn't we be afraid? And so he shares that. So now he's trying to sound like he's an understanding father. But he didn't clarify well enough why not to be afraid and to minimize it. I mean, it's just a thought that I had. See, they don't have any answers why they want to put up the hype. So they on one level they're trying to scare you about it. And then another instant, don't worry about it. So I perceive, my instincts are telling me that it's to be a setup, to set up a system here in New York and in other states, maybe to introduce a police state type of thing. So it's going to limit your freedoms of going out and about. And I think that's what this thing globally is all about. Okay, so that's my thoughts with coronavirus. And okay, now I'm going to talk about the British film. I was looking on YouTube and I saw a commercial that it's going to be a British movie, but it's a time period movie that depicts the aristocracy of like the early 1900s, 1800s. You have these massive estates and servants. this is another insight I have about this. Now, when I was young, I used to watch shows like this with my mother. But now when I look at it, I said, wait a minute. This is 2020. And why are they still depicting these type of movies? Because now, with social media, you learn about the different news events, what is happening in Britain and their Commonwealth nations. And I think that, okay, now what's going on in Britain right now? You have the scandal with Prince Andrew, and Prince Andrew is the second son of Queen Elizabeth II. He allegedly was involved with engaging in sexual activity with a 17-year-old girl. And he had, there was a video of him being inside this child trafficker and sexual exploiter of teenage girls. Now, I mentioned that because in the what do you call it, Elizabethan era of the past, what's that? Should be Queen Elizabeth the First. Now, I could be wrong with the name, but how is it that during these times, the so-called common folks didn't have any rights, and they were sexually exploited the women during this time? So you have rich people, and back then there were no taxes like we have now. They were mega rich. Their money went far. But we glamorize their lives with these type of movies. This is a propaganda thing. That's what I'm getting at. What's the whole point of bringing out about this? Well, I think that these movies that we see on Britain of this time period is to like reinforce control over the people and over its Commonwealth nations, including the U.S., that these people are innately more superior to everybody and that everybody else is beneath them and that you are to bow down to them. You can't talk to them. There's a lot of limitations. It's a mind control. And how you perpetuate your authority over someone will perpetually indoctrinate people of a mindset and that they can't break it. That you're going to, when you see them, you immediately have a feeling about them that they're all powerful, that they're entitled. Have you heard of Prince Andrew's interview regarding the now woman who he allegedly had sex with? Entitlement. And that their true nature is horrible. The things that the police security team that used to work under him some time ago, he was being interviewed, and the things this guy would do, sneak in a lot of questionable people in that house. So it's like, could you imagine regular, a young boy bringing in girls in his mother's house? That is disrespectful. But we're brainwashed to think because they have money that they're proper. And I'm seeing that these movies perpetuate you to accept their filth. And just because they have money, we accept their behavior. If you wouldn't want someone from your social economics to do half of these things that the aristocracy or the royal family does, so why should you embrace it? See, that's what TV is all about in these movies. These are programs, and it's to program you to submit to the message. And that message is not to edify you, it's to tell you how to think about certain people, how to think about certain races of people, how to think about different religions, how to think about different gender in specific, how to think about women, and how to think about men. And it's to restrict you and to give privileges to the other, which is usually the minority of a group. So there's more and more movies on this period. And I just find it really interesting of this because there's so much now more dirt coming out regarding the royal family. And I think even further that Harry and Meghan left because they don't want to be bothered by this thing. I mean, I'm sure they have, television or read the newspapers. I mean, could you imagine? Could you imagine this? You have an uncle who likes to associate with a sleaze bag, okay? And then you have a father who may have been partly responsible for the death of his own mother. I mean, for Harry's mother. Now, if you have all that going on, and I'm sure they get to see and hear different things that maybe they shouldn't be seeing or hearing about. And so they want to leave. I wouldn't want my kid in that household. And I shared about a video that I saw a couple of months back, not too long ago. And it was about the British royal family, the what they call Buckingham Palace. There's a video that was there was a video of a man leaving Buckingham Palace through a window, one of the top windows, and coming down with tied sheets, white sheets, and climbing down, and then he falls really bad. But you heard nothing of this in the news. Why didn't you? You got a young, and it was a young man. It looked like a young, really buff-looking guy. It's a white fellow. So you got people going in grandma's house. They're coming out of grandma's house naked. And but you heard nothing of it. Why is that? Why is that in certain communities you have something like that? I'm sure the guy must have died because of the far drop. That is major, major news. So the royal family seems to have control over media, television. So it limits the exposure to anything negative. It squashes it before it spreads. And I think Harry and Meghan see that, and they have a kid, young kid, They don't want their kid exposed to them. So they went far away. They did go to their a Commonwealth, a British Commonwealth. Canada is a British Commonwealth. Okay? But the media and the British media is focusing on them. They're the newlyweds. Why, why bug newlyweds? When you have an adult male like Prince Andrew, who knows better, but yet he's just romping around. And the things that he said during uh, the interview was shocking. But they're not afraid. They're not afraid because they are in charge of the media. And they may have deals with the US to not make it happen, to not extradite him. They should extradite him. If it was anybody else, they would probably extradite him for a crime. But that's not happening. But they want you to focus on two lovebirds that, are newlyweds with a baby. So then again, they're using this as a smokescreen. They're putting up these movies also as a smokescreen so that you don't fight, that you don't flinch about the things that's happening in modern day Britain. Modern day Britain is going down the tubes, but they want to show these movies when it was at its prime of power. They want you to think that it still exists. The royal family doesn't have a pot to piss in without the assistance of the public. The public pays taxes and the royal family takes it. They're not protecting these people. It's more like a thuggery. And then they have the nerve to have people to bow to them when it's the public that is supporting them. See, I hope they wise up, the British people and the Commonwealth, that it is a monster like the Wizard of Oz that I mentioned earlier in this video. The British royal family is the Wizard of Oz. They are seducing the public through its protocols. The more you do something, the stronger it gets. So the ceremonies that they do is promoting the strengthening of their power by repetition. It repeats itself so often that you see it, and it gets into a strong hold, a real strong hold over your psyche. They are masters of illusion, like the Wizard of Oz. Yes. And there's another movie, British movie coming out. It's I forget the name, but it looked really interesting. What I liked about the intro, that it was fantasy. It depicts a young girl who's being sent to a relative who lives one of these mansions, these big estates, and she finds imagination through this device, another world. So, I'm all for imagination and exploration. So in that aspect, I want to see it because I love imagination, fantasy. But again, it's showing an era when there was the illusion of that some people more, the caste system, or I should say, what is that? Not the caste, that's in India. Um, but they have a system that is very uh, striated, very separate, based on a lot of different factors. So again, media is being used to program your belief systems, even before you ever arrive at a place. You see the commercials, you read books, everything. It's all to shape the way you think in order to uh, control your behaviors. And so again, the Wizard of Oz and about the dream that, not the dream, the vision of this prickly device. And when maybe I wonder if it's all connected, and it's all to make you see certain things, to believe certain things, like the Matrix. He was in that cocoon, but he could see, feel, touch, taste, different sensations, but he actually didn't experience anything. And so again, some people in Hollywood are sharing this system, the secret, for whatever reason. I don't know. And what was the last thing I wanted to talk about? Yeah, I mentioned in one of my last videos, I want to have more change in my life. I need to explore and expand my mind. I bought, like I mentioned that I have, I saw an orb, a white orb on my birthday. And so I recently purchased these books about orbs. So I want to explore more metaphysical things to help me understand about orbs. What are orbs? How do you get to see them? It just came and then it went. So, what was I saying now? Yeah, so part of the changes that I want to do, well, I want to limit my uploading videos, at least. See, I don't want to use my desktop to produce the videos because it starts to hurt my neck. I was having severe, severe neck pains. And there's other issues with YouTube that I'm concerned about. Um, but I still want to get some data out. So I decided to, if I'm going to put up a video, I just get my iPad or iPhone and either I do a live a live stream, or I do a short video and then just upload it to YouTube. So I one of the changes is that I joined a health club, a gym. Yep. I got motivated to join because something I was watching, and I was irritated at some of the comments that they were discussing about the current bodybuilders, and most of them were what we call people of color. And he compared these current winners, and the majority are all black, referred to them as Ninja Turtles. And he meant it in a negative because who he compared the Ninja Turtles with was the older, back in the day of, earlier bodybuilders who were usually white, and referred to them as Greek gods. So you got a god versus a turtle. And, I understood in part what he was really getting at. He was saying that their waists were, they looked a little big, the tummy, he felt. So, I would have given a different comparison. And some of the responses were negative when I responded to the video. So I started watching other videos of this particular black athlete, weightlifter, bodybuilder. And then it showed me another video, and then I said, I'm really inspired. And I thought, hey, could I even do something like this? So I said, I think I'm going to try it. So, what day now? So it was Monday. I think it was Monday morning. No, Monday evening. I was thinking about it. I said, hey, there's a club, a gym on my block. Hey, let me just moseying down there. I knew in the back of my mind it could be a possibility I might join, but I was just, on the surface, just going there to see what the place looks like. I met an individual there. And in short, I do sign up, and then the next day I had my first session. But there was an incident that happened yesterday. I went yesterday also. And I was turned off by one of the PT instructors. He's relatively new there. And I gather there's some things, maybe there's something, politics there that I don't know about why they might be treating him the way he is, or it could just be him. But either way, when I came in yesterday, he was very, very friendly, and I see he likes to give information about everything. He was at the front desk. And there was some distractions. Because I came into the place early because I needed to talk to one of the other instructors there about something that I won't be using his services. It was like he was, he's a very passionate person, this individual that I'm talking about. I met him a couple of years back. He teaches boxing. So he wanted me to also learn boxing. But see, I'm not interested right now at that. And he's a little pushy. And in short, I initially said, okay, I'll when I come in, I'll see you for your free lesson. It would be one free lesson. And, his hopes is that he wants me to sign up with him. So I got there early so I can tell him, I thought about it, but I really want to stay focused with the bodybuilding. And in that, this PT instructor that likes to give information, the two men there's some conflict. Like, oh, someone's trying to steal my, that it seemed like they're competing to who can get me as a client, because again, this means money for them. So I eventually got the information out to the boxer, the boxer instructor, and then the person at the desk. I go back and continue talking to him. Let's see, what happened now? Oh, he was just very, very up and chatty, and if you need help, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay. I was feeling really, really good. I was feeling good. And I had priorly watched videos on weightlifting, bodybuilding, and it was really edifying to me. And so I wanted to go there and have my first full day session with me by myself, with no instructor, and just exploring the gym and just go along. Well, the guy at the desk had told me again, if you need any help, just feel free to call me. So I do my routine. In maybe 15 minutes, I come back and say, hey, where's that machine that works on this part of the muscle? And he seemed edgy, and he was just washing a blender in the sink. And then he says, he was, I didn't like how he was indirect, but very direct. Now, in short, what he was trying to convey is that me as your semi-private instructor, PT instructor, is on a particular day, and that's not this day, and so don't bother me. That's what was conveyed, but he worded in such a way to make it sound polite. But he just told me 15 minutes, and he repeated it several times for me to ask for his help, because I had told him what my goals were. And so I was deeply offended. And then the manager that was standing right there said, hey, yeah, why don't you just go to the such and such class? It's starting right now. And, oh, just go in it. Just go in it. Why should I go to some class when I just want to know where the machine is so I can continue on my path? It really, really bugged me, and I felt like I wanted to leave. But I did go. And I used it to my advantage. And then I told him in this semi-private class, I said, hey, I want to work on this muscle. Show me what machine for that. He said, oh, yeah, sure. After this, go on the treadmill, and then I should bring you over to the machine. And that's how I worked that out. But so when I left that day, I said, I got to address this issue. It's not sitting well with me. So when I get back today, he's all trim. He's at the front desk again. Hey, how you doing? Oh, you want this drink? I really don't want any drink from him. I was really pissed. And I didn't want to say no. So I said, well, how much is it? He says, oh, this is just a free sample. So he gives me a little bit and just starts rambling again. And then I say, something? I like to be upfront with people. And I need to tell you something. I say, yesterday you said something to me that really upset me. And then I was telling the story. And before I can even tell him what he said that was very offensive, he says, I know where you're going with this. I know where you're going with this. He kept saying that. And then I said what it was. And his excuse is, well, he did apologize. He said the manager was there at the time, which he was, and that he has been upset with them and just wants him to stay at the front desk. And he did not like when the first time he assisted me in where a exercise machine was at the gym. It's a very large gym. And, just other stuff is going on. And so when he addressed me, he can see that the manager is staring at him and doesn't like me being there. Look at that. Here I pay them money to join 2 days prior, and he doesn't want me to ask where machine went. And now then the manager was just sitting there on his smartphone. He wasn't doing anything. He just sitting on his behind. And shouldn't he, as a manager, um, and again, I never had an orientation on the place. They didn't tell me what the rules of the club was. Um, they didn't tell me about the machines they have or anything. So it's I think, an honest request to find, to ask them where something was. And again, I was working independent and I was staying there for quite a while at the place. So as he was telling me this, I turn my head and I see the manager glaring at me, real stink eye. And we were also logging me in, like you have to swipe in. And I couldn't find my swiper. So he was doing it manually in their computer while we were talking. So I see that there's something going on, and how I feel is like a lot too much politics going on there. Okay, so what happened as a result of that? He did apologize, and I saw the manager glaring at me. And then I walk away to do my exercise, but I felt a little edgy. I did have a good workout, but it could have been better. Um, but this guy, the PT person, comes back. He says, I talked to the owner. The owner came in. His name is Vinny. And he told him about the situation that happened the day before. And what they want to do for me is that they're going to have a one-on-one with me, as a PT instructor for Monday. So I guess it's his way of saying sorry. And it'll be free, and it'll be a one-time event. And so for me to sign up for a Monday one-on-one session, and he'll go over the equipment with me and devise a plan for me to reach my goals. So I said that would be great. So I think why I share this information is that I'm learning how to speak up. Sometimes it's hard to speak up as it's happening, because you're like in shock. Someone is treating you really nice, and then like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, you have to process something sometimes. You want to feel what's just happened. What did I say? What did I do to warrant this type of behavior? Will someone behind the scene, like again, the Wizard of Oz, the man behind the curtain? It was that manager. Yeah, he was there when he said that remark, and I'm thinking, him as a manager, why wouldn't you, reprimand him? It's just totally rude. But it makes sense that the manager didn't want to have him help me. And he, as a manager, I think if he didn't want to do it, he could have summoned one of the other helpers there at the club to just show me and maybe give me an overview of the layout of the gym. So, another thing, a question I have about the incident is that why would someone who said those things to me yesterday go to the owner and tell him what he did? I'm wondering whether he really did talk to the owner. So I think I'm going to request to talk to the owner about the incident, because what if he didn't tell him? He's just telling me this, the PT instructor, because he's afraid that I might go to the owner. What do you guys think? Let me know. What do you think? In the chat chat room, you know, what do you think happened? Would you go to your boss about telling a new customer that is not our official day for instruction, and that 15 minutes prior you told the same person to ask them for help, and when they come to help and ask for help, just where something was that will it's not our official day, go away. Let me know. What do you think? What do you think is going on? I feel that, see, I'm not about drama. I wonder whether this is happening because the system at large is trying to sabotage my dream and doesn't want me to do the weightlifting. You know what I'm saying? That this is really, it's really silly. And I don't want something stupid like this to have me stop. I want to continue. I need to get in better shape. Remember, I was saying that my neck has been hurting me. I'm supposed to get a MRI of my neck. The and late this month, I'm supposed to have it. Yeah, it's easing up a lot. And see, that's also why I'm not doing the same type of videos, that require the editing. The less, you know, um, just do something, just hold up my smartphone or something like that, or my iPad, and do um, quick videos or live stream, and it just goes immediately up, you know. This is better for my health. Yeah, for this year, I really want to do. I want to do more for myself. I want to explore. I mean, I want that breakthrough. I want to, look. I've been telling people before in the past, to love the person you see in the mirror, but even more so, I want to be trim. I want to be fit. I want to have strength. I find like now, I find that my body has been achy all over. And there's another YouTuber, her experiences remind me of myself. She also is going through uh, awakening. She used to be in this particular religion that was really cult like. She was a Jehovah, a JW. And she started to again ask questions, and she had to leave. She left the organization, and now she's exploring all these different uh, metaphysical stuff, and the same thing that I'm doing. Yeah. And she shared that her body has been aching, and I mean, we're not young women, we're not young. Oh, so some things is expected to be, as you get older, you might have more aches and pain. But I'm very conscientious about my health, and I think my diet is very good. I walk all the time, but I find like when I walk, sometimes I feel wiped out. I feel like, wow, I'm wondering what's happening. Have any of you been experiencing, excuse me, experiencing these weird, just being overly tired and you shouldn't be, or your muscles get sore and achy for doing things like what you've always done? Let me know in the chat room. Let me know with your comments. What if you are experiencing things that you don't understand that what's happening with your health? Yeah, because it might be a pattern. Some people might call it ascension. I've been hearing that a lot, like the, what do you call it, the five dimension or something, I think they call it. Five something, that it's a new, uh, like a new system that's coming about. You know what I'm talking about? It's something with the number five, and like we have I think we're currently in three, but it's going to be like a jump to five, or maybe the fifth dimension or something. I don't know. I forget what it's called. But yeah, but surprising enough, the number five. You know what they have now? What's becoming more popular now in the advertisements that they have in New York City, where I live? 5G, and G as in generation, fifth generation. And the 5G will allow real quick access of like downloading movies, and it's everything is quick, 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 quick. I'm wondering whether 5G and this five dimension thing, the elevation of humanity, if you, is this really the same thing? Is this really the same thing? The number five again, 5G, and then that spiritual awakening thing of the number five, the elevation of humanity. Um, some will enter and some won't. I don't know where to get this. Yeah, Dolores Cannon, the late Dolores Cannon, she died in 2016, 2016, and she did hypnosis, and a lot of her patients talked about this fifth level of spiritual elevation, and uh, um, I'm not sure whether it's something that's really noticeable, but for some they might notice and some not. Again, there's no proof, and I don't know where they're getting this information from, but it was just food for thought. This number five, so I don't know. Oh, I can't really think of anything else. Let's see. Oh, also family. I think sometimes you can love somebody, and you may think all your life that this person is a hero of you. And then you slowly start to realize that maybe this person was really your enemy all along, and you sacrifice so much time and energy trying to win this person's affection, and so many other things. People who claim that they love, but all their actions prove contentment over you. So what I did, I mean, it's very painful, and I share this not for a pity party, but for awakening. See, we're all born into something. And so you cannot control what you're born into. But in this spiritual journey, that sometimes you think something is, but it's not. And you find out the people who you love the most are the ones that actually hate you, that really don't want your elevation, and who are really jealous of you. Well, I'm learning that there's a time when you have to say enough is enough, and that you may have to disconnect them from your device. What do you call blocking out certain phone numbers? And I did that the other day. It was a low blow. I just had enough of this individual. And that despite that, my sharing with this person, and when they had an opportunity, and again, it's not like costing them anything. It's nothing like that that's going to cost money, whatever. But I was very hurt when um, a relative of mine just had a baby. And I love babies. And I love this person that just had a baby, maybe now 4 or 5 days ago. And I was excluded from the family of this information that she was even pregnant. And then I get a text with a picture of the child. So I'm sure this relative of mine had a baby shower, right? And other things, a little celebration. But I'm denied that. But yet, all my brothers know about it. And I'm the only aunt. No, there's one other aunt, but I'm the only aunt on this side of the family. And I was deeply hurt. And I did text that person, not the mommy, the new mommy, but the grandmother. I said, I didn't even know that she was pregnant. And you telling me this now? And then I found out that all my brothers know about it, but you're not going to tell me? And other things that I suspected she was pregnant because I was in this. I had to go to the hospital to visit my a family member who was in the hospital, and this other person was there on the phone, and she's talking to the mommy to be, but like talking like in code, and they would. When the person made like a comment like, "Oh, I can't wait to rub your stomach," and then she hangs up, but it's like they're whispering. And none of them told me that she was pregnant. But I said, why would someone say that? I said, oh my God, I think she's pregnant. But I didn't think it was my purpose, I didn't feel that I should uh, ask. If someone wanted me to know, they'd tell me. And I wanted to respect the privacy of their call, even though they're sitting right next to me talking. But they didn't. And so I feel like, wow, I used to babysit this person. I care about this person. They live far away from me. But still, I've communicated with this person, wishing them well. We never had any fight. Um, but the grandmother, um, or I should say the new grandmother, should have, why wouldn't you tell me that? It's like some people, they know what you like, and they wag it in your face. So that's how I took it when I got the picture. That it's like saying, yeah, we withhold. That's how I took it. We withhold the information. Oh, but by the way, she had the baby. I didn't even know. It was just other stuff. It's like they want to rob your joy. They don't want you part of the process. And so it was just many things. And I said to myself, now I showed respect for them growing up. Um, but I realized, like Maya Angelou used to say, when someone shows you who they are,
Believe them. And so I thought about it and I said, I don't need sneaky and malicious people to wag something in my face. It's like, hey, we had a wedding, but you weren't invited. Here, but here's some pictures of the wedding and everybody having a good party. That's also how I took it. So I blocked them from my phone, and I feel wonderful about it. Yeah, start loving you. That's my point. Start loving yourself. Don't have people in your life who want to needle you, who want to play games. Playing games is for kids, and I'm not a kid. Remove the rubbish, remove the trash from your life, and you're going to see you're going to have a lighter load in life. It is difficult. It's not always easy. But sometimes you have to start waking up and realizing that some people will never, ever change. They may never really want for you to expand your horizons or learn how to play an instrument. And I told you guys in the last video that I bought a guitar and I'm getting guitar lessons. And this Saturday will be my third lesson. Yeah, I want to go all out. I want to learn new things. I want to learn more about the power, what do you call it, metaphysics and everything, and tarot card reading. You know, it's a powerful tool. Do it all. Do it all and break free from the tethers that are holding you back in life. Okay? I really hope you understand where I'm coming from. You could, tell me yes or no if you understand what I'm coming about, what I'm talking about. And you're going to see I'm no different than anybody else. And you have a right to happiness, personal happiness. And when someone is just trying to rob your joy, you have to expose them. Like I exposed the guy at I confronted him, the guy at the gym. And then I told the person about the photo they sent me. I told, hey, you excluded from me before, so why show me this now? Keep it. Yeah. Start shaming them with the truth. And this is liberating. See, that's also why I share this. It's not to gossip. It's about learning how to speak up and speak out, and start shaming them through exposure. See, people have to start looking at themselves in the mirror and see how ugly they are. Yes, live a good life. And you know what else? Someone told me this story. This individual was sabotaged at work, and the person shared with me that they wanted to do acts of violence with a weapon, and they would drink. They were at home and they were drinking, but then they noticed something on the bottle. And on the bottle, I don't know what bottle it was. I should go to a liquor store to find out what bottle has this. And if any of you know what bottle has this saying on it, says, good living is the best revenge. Good living is the best revenge. And so when he read that, the person told me that he decided that he wasn't going to do this particular acts of violence against coworkers, and he decided to learn to use his mind to make tons of money. And that's what he did. He became very, very successful. So, yes, when people throw those lemons at you, you know, don't do acts of violence. Instead, have a wonderful, polished, and sophisticated lifestyle of your choice. And that is the best revenge. And so, my learning the guitar, my uh, going to, doing bodybuilding and may want to do competition in 9 months. That's my goal. What else? Yeah, that's about it. And to just enjoy. I want to start reading more of my metaphysical books and other interesting subjects. I got tons of books. Yeah. So this is what new this life that I want to try to bring in fruition, and I share this all with you to encourage you all that you can do it also. You decide for yourself what your dreams are, what things you want to learn and explore, and then share it with the world. Yeah, we all each one teach one. And so I'm just sharing with you what some of the things I want to do and accomplish. So I see this live stream is going very long. I really can't think of anything else to say, but I thank you all for watching and listening and sharing in this live stream. And may you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful uh, evening and new year in 2020. So I am signing off. Peace, love, and joy to you all. You guys are really special to me. Thank you for being a blessing to me. Take care. Bye bye.